normally to end these MLB recaps, we do a little mini series called This Day in MLB History. Well, we're going to go ahead and flip the script today, and we're going to begin today's video with what happened 5 years ago on today's date, June 4th, 2016. Fernando Tatis Jr. was traded to the San Diego Padres in exchange for James Shields. Hey, if you're a White Sox fan, I just want to ask you a question. Are you okay with that? Because in 2021, even though the White Sox have lost Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert, two of their best hitters, to injury, they're still a really good team. So Tim Anderson, he's not a bad consolation shortstop. Are White Sox fans even upset about that? I know I would still be. Either way, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to get into today because Padres fans are trying to justify Yu Darvish, and he was, in fact, in my opinion, I'm going to go ahead and emphasize that, in my fuzzy opinion, Yu Darvish was in fact using substances yesterday. I'm talking about foreign substances, but then that poses the question. I feel like over the last month or the first 2 months of the season, we've seen so many pitchers using pine tar and nothing has been done about it. Well, that's going to change fairly soon. Before the All-Star game happens, Robert Manfred and Major League Baseball is finally going to implement a punishment, and it does not sound good for pitchers. We'll go ahead and talk about that in just a moment, but I do want to remind you guys that the All-Star Voting is officially live. The only thing that I'm going to plead with you guys is to please vote for Akil Baddoo. Of course, the Tigers are not a good team, but Akil Baddoo, he's kind of been like the shining light of that team. Vote Baddoo. Do your part. All right, so let's go ahead and get the drama out the way. The Padres versus the Mets, and then we'll talk about Yu Darvish using pine tar or whatever the heck that was in his glove. But let's talk about the game that was played yesterday, because Fernando Tatis Jr., would you consider this a lucky home run? So he barreled it up 1,000,000%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But a lot of people were saying that the wind kind of took into account. That was his 17th home run. He also has 13 stolen bases. Fernando Tatis Jr. is on pace to have a 40-40 season. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases in under 140 games. That has never been done before. And then Fernando Tatis Jr. shows off not only the power in yesterday's game, but the speed as well, scoring on a wild pitch. It was close, but he gets the job done. James McCann has been a monster for the Mets as of late, and Brian McKinney, he had an inside the park home run stolen by Manny Machado. Defensive shifting has gone way too far. When you have Manny Machado saving a run, which I guess in hindsight, it's actually a good thing that he was out there because the right fielder misplayed it, but Machado was there to be able to throw it into the infield, and this would have tied up the ball game. But the Padres, they escaped with a 4-3 victory because Machado was essentially playing right field. Now, after the game, a lot of Mets fans are going crazy that Yu Darvish was cheating. I'm going to put that in air quotations, because if everyone's doing it, is it really considered cheating? I don't know. You guys have to let me know in the comment section down below, because people have the same argument for Barry Bonds and the rest of the steroid era. Like, is this going to be known as the foreign substance era for pitchers? I don't really know, but Major League Baseball, they are about to crack down. They are about to impose a 10-game suspension to any pitcher who was caught using pine tar, whether it's a relief pitcher coming in for a third of an inning, or if it's Gerrit Cole, who might have been scared yesterday and stopped using pine tar. That's what everyone is saying. I mean, it could be anyone at that point. So maybe we're going to see offense start to pick up because everyone is afraid to get suspended for 10 games. I would say it's fairly clear that Yu Darvish was caught yesterday, but let's go ahead and move on to the Rays versus the Yankees, because the Yankees fall to 3-7 in their last 10 games, and the Rays are the exact opposite. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Austin Meadows has essentially become Barry Bonds since the midway point of May. A 2-run home run yesterday gives him 14 on the season already. You have Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz making it 5 earned runs for Gerrit Cole, and a lot of people were pointing to that 10-game suspension punishment affecting his performance yesterday, because he hadn't had that low of a fastball spin rate since 2018. Almost 3 years since his fastball was not that solid, and a lot of people are saying, hey, maybe that's because he doesn't want to get suspended. I would argue that the umpire had a lot to do with yesterday's box score, but we'll talk about that at the end of the highlights. Austin Meadows, he comes in with 2 more RBIs, so he now has 44 on the season. Ryan Yarbrough, he was fantastic. He throws a complete game, only allows 2 earned runs, but I do want to show this on the screen right now because a lot of Yankees fans were sending me in. I didn't think it was that bad until I saw the picture. Look at how many calls Ryan Yarbrough got outside of the strike zone, and look how many Gerrit Cole did not. So was it the fact that his spin rate was down? Maybe he's not using foreign substances because he doesn't want to get banned, or maybe the umpire was just really bad. Who knows? Oh, that was one of the more interesting starts to a recap that we've ever had in the history of this channel. I mean, vote for Akil Baddoo first and foremost. You, Darvish, potentially was using Pine Tar, and Gerrit Cole maybe not using it in yesterday's game and getting absolutely shellacked, or maybe Kyle Higashioka is bad at framing. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the games from yesterday. We're going to try and get this done fairly quick because we spent way too much time on the first two games. The Braves versus the Nationals. The Braves pick up a game on the Mets. Obviously, they lost to the Padres, so the Braves are 3.5 games back. And have you ever seen that Conor McGregor meme where he's like, who the fudge is that guy? That was me after seeing the box score. Tucker Davidson, didn't even know he existed, goes 5 2/3 innings, only allows 1 hit to the Washington Nationals, doesn't allow a single earned run. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the W because the Braves offense goes off after he leaves the game. Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, and Dansby Swanson, they do the heavy lifting as the Braves win 5-1. The Giants, good lord, they are now 14 games above 500. I think it's time that we put some respect on Gabe Kapler because I thought the Giants were going to be bad in 2020, and they've been nothing short of amazing ever since that point. Brandon Crawford drove in an RBI early, and then starting pitcher Des Clefany, he drove in an RBI, and Brandon Crawford, he is not 34 years old. I refuse to believe that. With this 3-run home run, I am fully under the assumption that he is actually 23 years old and that he's been lying about his age all this time. Over his last 103 games, Brandon Crawford has 20 home runs, a 130 OPS plus, and he has just been fantastic. And Anthony Desclafani goes 6 innings, only allows 2 earned runs. I mean, the Giants scored so many, they only needed those 2. The Reds beat the Cardinals yesterday 4-2. The Cardinals are now on a 2-game losing streak, and they're 1.5 games back with the Chicago Cubs. Naquin, he gets hit by a pitch, and then Jesse Winker, this 2-run home run gives Vladimir Gutierrez, Spider-Man as I call him because he's got that funky spider tattoo, or it's like a Black Widow tattoo on his neck, goes 5 innings, gives up 2 earned runs, and Tucker Barnhart, little icing on the cake for a final insurance run. Lucas Sims comes in for a 2-inning save, so good for him. The Mariners, ooh, they beat the kind of red-hot Angels. The Angels offense was playing really well lately. Justin Upton and Jared Walsh, they give the Halos an early lead, but Mitch Haniger and Jake Fraley on his first career home run, they reclaim the lead for the Mariners. Justice Sheffield, after giving up those home runs to Upton and Walsh, he settled down, and then the bullpen came in and did not allow a single earned run. Kyle Seager hit his 11th home run of the season, which begs the question, do we think that Kyle Seager is going to get traded? I think it's going to happen. So we talked about some not so great news with the White Sox at the beginning of the video. Let's talk about some better news because the Chicago White Sox beat the Tigers 4-1, and because of that, the White Sox now have a plus 82 run differential, and they improved to 21-9 at home. So even without Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez, they are a top 5 team, an elite team, as all 5 runs in yesterday's game, the 4 for the White Sox and the only 1 for the Tigers, came on solo home runs. So you have Moncada doing it, you have Jake Lamb doing it, you have Yasmani Grandal hitting one 460 feet, and in between, Lance Lynn, he goes 6 innings, only allows 1 earned run, and he lowers his ERA in 10 starts to 1.23, and Liam Hendricks comes in for his 14th save. I'm telling you right now, when Robert and Eloy come back towards the later half of the season, I would not want to play them in the playoffs. Here come the Royals again out of nowhere. They're on a 4-game winning streak after losing, what was it, like 9, 10, 11 in a row. So Donaldson and Perez, they go back and forth with a few home runs, so it's tied up. Then you have Benny Biceps getting hit by a pitch, and then the Twins tied up yet again. Now, luckily for the Royals, you have Hunter Dozier and Salvador Perez. They combine to grab the lead back, but then Josh Donaldson spoils it by tying it up. Just the Twins defense could not keep up with the offense as they cost the Twins a victory. The Royals escape with a 6-5 W. The Red Sox versus the Astros. Christian Arroyo with a 3-run home run in the second. That was all Martin Perez needed. He was sailing, cruising through almost 8 innings of shutout baseball. He lowers his season ERA to 3.09 after starting off a little bit rocky. Bogarts drives in the 5th and final run. The Red Sox improved to 17-10 on the road, I believe, and they're 2 games back of first place. If I got that wrong, it might be home. I can't necessarily remember. The Rockies versus the Rangers. The Rangers have now lost 9 games in a row and 15 in a row on the road as the Rockies offense erupts early and they keep on tacking on throughout the game. Austin Gomber, their newest addition in the trade for Nolan Arenado, he goes 6 scoreless innings, racks up 6 strikeouts. Brendan Rodgers, the former top prospect, I think the number 2 overall pick a few years ago, him and Chuck Nasty, they drive in 6 RBIs combined. And if you're a Rangers fan, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this season is pretty much a wash? Should you guys consider trading Joey Gallo because his contract is up after 2021? I think he's not going to stay because Joey Gallo, he wants to win. The final 2 games from yesterday, we have the Pirates beating the Marlins and the Brewers beating the Diamondbacks. Ke'Bryan Brian Hayes was back for the Pirates, and they rewarded that with a W. Both teams, they're now 3-7 in their last 10 games, but the Marlins are on a 6-game losing streak after Jazz and the Marlins put up 3 runs for Eliezer Hernandez, who was very solid, going 5 innings, only allowed that 1 earned run. But can Brian Hayes back in that lineup? The bad defense of the Miami Marlins and also Jacob Stallings clearing the bases as the Marlins blow it and the Pirates win 5-3. And like I mentioned, the Brewers beat the Diamondbacks. The Brewers are now 7-3 in their last 10 games. Both starting pitchers were roughed up a little bit. Jackie Bradley Jr. hits a home run, and Christian Yelich just makes me so happy. They make it 4-0 on 2 swings. I love Christian Yelich highlights. Please give us MVP Christian Yelich back because of him. Acuna, Vlad Jr., Soto can all do their thing at the same time. Ohtani, Aaron Judge, maybe Mookie Betts gets hot. It's going to be a fun time to be a baseball fan. You have Carson Kelly hitting a 2-run home run, so he now has 7 home runs and a 153 OPS plus as a catcher. Luis Urias hits his 7th home run, and obviously Garcia hits his 11th as Josh Hader comes in and K's the side to give the Brewers a 7-4 victory. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap, and because we already talked about this day in MLB history, that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off minor league tickets, major league tickets, concerts, anything that you can think of. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.